Here is another session from the series Defense Against Dark Act. We are focusing on developing the knowledge, awareness, mental readiness to prepare our own protection shields against these frauds and intruders. In this session, we'll be discussing about scams that are related to providing fake account numbers. Let's take a closer look at it, how these scams are being carried out. So, this is how the modus operandi goes. Fraudster establishes a communication channel, or uh, they meet the potential victims physically, perhaps in a particular kiosk or in a booth, and they masquerade as company representative and develop a benefit scenario for the potential victim. And we'll be discussing exactly, what kind of benefit scenarios, they could be coming up with. And then they use breach data to make the whole scenario sound authentic. And the potential victim, being uninformed about these problems or these ways of uh, looting people, they respond with excitement and agree to provide prompt support to avail the benefit. And the fraudster asked to book the benefit urgently by paying a booking amount, creates an extreme sense of urgency, and potential victim act in haste. They promptly make the booking payment as asked to the account number as provided and end up becoming a victim of fake account number linked fraud. Now, what kind of benefits are we talking here? Let's say the physical kiosk was made look like an insurance agency's kiosk, and the benefit is something like offering insurance in a hugely discounted price point. Or it could be, let's say, a broker, a stock broker kiosk offering hugely discounted IPO for stocks. It could be a financial institute kiosk, made it look like financial institute kiosk and offering loan repayment subsidy. Or it could be a loan offer, hugely discounted loan offer. Or it could even be a cashback on e-commerce. Okay, so it could be an e-commerce kiosk or e-commerce initiated communication, and the benefit could be a substantial cashback, or it could be any other type of financial subsidy. The fraudsters are, getting more and more creative in developing these scenarios. So there could be numerous other type of scenarios that could as well be fitting into this same style of scams, which are essentially linked with the fake account number. So what could be a counter strategy for this? Essentially, a situation analysis, is required whenever um, the informed people are uh, experiencing a similar situation where a benefit is being offered to them. It sounds pretty good. There are some uh, information or data that sort of aligns the benefit to their historical usage or their financial uh, you know uh, situation. Uh, Instead of uh, going ahead with uh, a sense of excitement and not carrying out a proper situation analysis, the informed people will have to respond it with level-headedness and clarity of thoughts to validate the situation. And of course, while the people would be in the process of validation, the fraudsters would try to offer some proofs, um, some more mechanisms to convince the potential victims. They will also create a sense of urgency. They will ask to book the benefits as soon as possible, and all that would essentially lead to further amount of due diligence for the informed people, and they will have to decide the course of action. They will have to, uh, communicate to understand the exact, situation, and then they will have to break off for offline validation. That's pretty much the situation analysis, the diligence on taking the right decisions. At that point, these are the key ingredients to have yourself protected from becoming a victim of the fraud. Now, while a certain type of situation analysis will definitely be needed in those scenarios, there are a few important information, precursory information that are, extremely relevant for everybody to be aware of. So this online transfer, fund transfer like NEFT, RTGS, UPI, the fund credit happens to beneficiary's account solely based on account number. It won't matter what beneficiary name has been written. There won't be any validation to match the beneficiary name and account name for specific account number. So this is, if you are not aware, this is RBI notification. This is already a practice followed since 2010, and this is you can see the URL provided here on your screen, and if you can look up and you can read through the whole content. This notification suggests that for online fund transfer, beneficiary name will not be checked, will not be matched with account name. And it is the responsibility of the remitting customer to write correct account number. The originator or the sender should exercise due care in providing the correct account number of the beneficiary in the online fund remittance instruction and applications. Now, this is an extremely important information that many of us might not be aware of. So, while we are attending some of these, scenarios where while we are being, a potential victim of some of these scenarios, when you're being asked to transfer money to a certain account number and provided with an account name as well, we usually uh, consider that since the account name is there, like for example, if a particular agent of an insurance company is providing me an account number with the insurance company's account name, usually I would expect that the account number, even if it is fake, there will be a match on account name. And if the account name is not matching, the money will not be credited to the particular account. Now, this is not true. This assumption is false. And this understanding might not be there to many of us. So here is the information that you need to be aware of. For online fund remittance, account name is not matched. And if you are being provided with an account name, which sounds, which looks pretty reasonable, pretty authentic, but you're also being provided to an account number, which you probably have never validated whether the account number belongs to the particular, you know, uh, company or agency or the valid beneficiary or not, it has to be a responsibility that you will have to take up. Now, considering that as a precursory information, you can make out what could be the potential line of interactions. You'll have to assess the genuineness of the scenario, and you will have to assess, how exactly you can ensure that you're not getting trapped into a certain scenario because of some of these uh, lack of information, lack of awareness that uh, you know one might be having. So towards this line of interactions, if you are not interacting with the person physically, if it is call that has been made to you, you need to be aware that the government of India initiative is about to get rolled out, and after this rollout, there will be a 10-digit number starting with 160 prefix for service and transaction related calls, as would be initiated by the financial institutions. All financial institutions who would be making service and transaction related calls will have to have these 10-digit number that will start with 160. So if you're receiving a call which is not starting with this number, you have every reason to be suspicious about the call, every reason to, check the legitimacy of the caller. Now, in addition to that, you also need to have full details of the described scenario. So when you're talking to the particular representative of the company, you need to understand whatever benefits they are mentioning about, it has to be a publicly disclosed information. You need to understand from where you can check whether the benefits related details are visible for public or not. If those details are not disclosed in a website, why not? You need to understand the criteria for the offer that is being made available to you. What are the specific details of the criteria? How does it satisfy for your case? Uh, who is making the decisions of these benefits, the offers, how the authorities are engaged in it. The authority of making these decisions belong to the financial institutions, or these are being taken up by the marketing company who is acting on behalf of the financial institute, who are making these offers at the first place, how these different entities are organized with each other, and whatever the selection methods are to offer these benefits to the candidates, how is it, you know, uh, complying to the rules of the laws of the land. So these are the kind of details of the scenario that you will have to inquire. You'll have to take as much as you can to get a clear idea of what the whole situation is looking like. And then you'll also have to understand the details around the person representing the company, the agency. How is it linked to the original institute, whether he or she belongs to the financial institute, or he or she belongs to a intermediating company who is representing the financial institute. All that details will also have to be analyzed, assessed during this line of interactions. Now, with all the information that you could collect during this due diligence, during this situation analysis, you should have the ability now to decide the next course of action. You must make payments only after offline validation. That's the recommendation. If you're making payments, you should always make it only on officially accepted payment methods. It could be NEFT, RTGS, but if it is, then make sure the account number is known to you as company's authentic account number. You can check company's website. You can check the payment methods described in company's websites. You should have that assurance so that you know they are not making the payment to a fake account number. If you're making UPI, you should make sure the UPI ID provided to you is company's authentic UPI ID. You can as well check it from company's official website. For check-based payment, make sure you're writing the recipient's name correctly as documented. Uh, and check-based payment will have a validation on the account name. And if you're writing the name correctly, as documented in official website, it will ensure that the payment is being made only to the concerned party. Now, if in case you're not sure how to validate a particular website is the legitimate website for the company or not, there is a video content that was shared in this series, which kind of describes, how you can validate a website, the legitimacy of it, and you can, you know, walk through it and you can get the understanding on the way you can validate a particular website, and you can safeguard yourself from getting caught into a situation where you have referred to a fake website provided by the particular agent with whom you were interacting. So with that, it should give you enough pointers, enough information which you can leverage, through this situation analysis and due diligence on decision making. And with that, you should be able to safeguard your interest. You should be able to protect yourself from becoming the victim. That's what we wanted to cover in this session. And we will be coming up with more recommendations and suggestions for various other topics. Stay tuned.